Hello, and welcome back to the Cooper Villa podcast. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher to discuss Aston Villa versus Arsenal from Saturday night. Yeah, it's been a big week. Man City, the champions on Wednesday. Arsenal on Saturday night. We're 2 points off top. We're absolutely flying, and we will be bringing you that and much more. Okay, so it was Saturday night. It was Villa Park again under the floodlights. Arsenal, the league leaders, were the visitors. And Noah, we said after the last pod, Man City, which got a lot of views and a lot of comments. Thank you all for that. It's been a great week for all us villains. And it just got even better, mate. It was the cherry on the icing on the cake, and it was a 1-0 win. It was a very different game, but look, we got the job done, and we are now 2 points off the top of the league. Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it, to be honest. But touching on the Man City episode, it's actually our second viewed video of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably our most liked one, got over 100 likes, which is amazing. The only one that's got more than that is when it got announced that Villa were coming down under, which I think has over 2,000 views. So that was always going to do very well. But yeah, the week just couldn't get any better, could it? Like it just could not get any better, and the game got off to a perfect start with the elite atmosphere. And look, well, I know we're going into more detail about it's just how gritty and a grind of a win it was, but it's never going to be easy playing two top teams in 4 days. Arsenal again having the extra day's break, but John McGinn, what a goal, what a player,
Marvelous McGinn. He just absolutely inspired the team, and his performance throughout the whole 90 minutes was exceptional, but he got us off to that great start, like you mentioned, in the 7th minute. And what a goal it was. And at that point of the match, in the first 10, 15 minutes, we were playing very well. We were knocking the ball around well. We looked a threat. It was a bit end to end, but we were certainly looking like we could score at any time, and we did. Great play by Boubacar Kamara, Tielemans, Leon Bailey started the move and then got the ball back. Lovely little cut back. And McGinn was just so cool on the box to let it roll across him. He turned the defender and got it on his left peg and in the corner. And yeah, we were off and away.
Yeah, I remember in McGinn's post-game press conference in Optus Sport, he mentioned that he had been in that position a couple of times, especially in the Europa Conference League games, and the coaches had told him to shoot because he always looked to dish it off, apparently, and stuff like that. So he actually took on the advice and did shoot, and I think he caught David Raya by surprise, maybe. I'm not too sure. Obviously not in the best of form. I actually thought Raya did okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay, but the play doesn't even start with like Kamara and Tielemans. It starts from Carlos as well. Carlos, what a game he had, by the way. It's probably his best game in a Villa shirt. It just seems that everyone's just getting better and better every game. Like Leon Bailey, I think he was sensational yesterday. I think a bit of cramp, maybe a soreness that had to come off at half time, but
yeah. Pau Torres as well was exceptional.
Was just unbelievable. And someone that I don't think will get a lot of credit, but it was when Matty Cash came on. I know it's in the second half, but he did an unbelievable job when he came on. But
yeah,
all around great team performance.
All the subs were great. Moreno was great when he came on. Jacob Ramsey was great. Just gave us that little bit of energy when we needed it, because I think we did look a bit tired in this game. And to all you Arsenal fans out there, you guys play well and probably shaded the game. I'm happy to say that. I think we could all say that by the sort of the possession stats, by the fact that they had more shots than we did and all that. But what we did is we got that early goal, and obviously the game plan changed then, and it became about absorbing pressure, sitting a little bit more deeper to our usual sort of mid block that we do. It was more of a sort of lower mid block. And, we just sort of had to, suffer for a while. We had to sort of, soak up the pressure, and we did that. And apart from maybe the Odegaard chance, they didn't really have that many clear-cut chances. They had a few shots. Obviously, they had a lot of possession and a lot of pressure, but we weren't getting cut apart. And, Arsenal fans will say, what about the offside and all that? But they're offsides. They don't count. Well, sorry, but, we defended those very well. So, what were your thoughts on the way we kind of, had a different approach this game, maybe an Italian sort of Catenaccio sort of approach? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say, Arsenal, they had about 4 chances, like genuine chances I can remember, maybe even 5. But Ødegaard had 2 that he would have scored normally. Like, he's an absolute class player. I wish Martin Ødegaard played for Aston Villa. But he's just one of those players that it wasn't their day. And I guess the big one right at the end was Eddie Nketiah. That header in the 97th minute, 98th minute, I think he went a little bit too early. You just don't know in these sort of games, but it was such a different approach from Unai EMery. And I don't know. I think it was very leaky. I think he saw that we were very tired. We have some big games coming up. We have a Conference League one on Thursday. Then we have Brentford away again. So it's just, yeah, I think it's something that had to be done.
Yes.
And I was just very impressed by the game management. Someone actually didn't mention, I was a little bit worried when I saw Dendoncker coming. I'm not going to lie. He hasn't been around for a while. He was very good when he played last season. He played that pass with his left foot and it went out of bounds. I'm going, oh no, Leander, like, come on. Like, don't do it. Because that sub could have gone 2 ways. If we lost that game, everyone would be criticising Dendoncker and why do we bring him on? But that game gives him confidence as well to see it out.
And he was good. He was good. Apart from, that error.
I thought he was good.
He's got a calm head. He knows what he's doing. He's a Premiership player, Premier League player from Wolves. He's an experienced player, Belgium international. So, you've got to use your squad in these games, especially in this busy period of December. And I'm hoping now that we can maybe rest a few for Zrinzi Moscar.
I think we will.
On Thursday night, and then come back with Brentford, because that's a massive game now. Obviously, they're all massive, but, our away form has been sort of questionable. It's been a bit up and down. So, we've beaten Spurs and Chelsea away, but we've also lost to Forest away. So yeah, we need to sort of come with a big performance against Brentford, because they're very difficult at the G-Tech Stadium, I think it is, their new stadium. So, they're not going to be a pushover, and it's going to be like that Bournemouth game where we're going to have to bring it, because in these away games, we seem to switch off sometimes for 10, 15 minutes here and there, start of the game, after halftime. So yeah, we need to bring that. And I think we will, because, talk about it like a boost in the arm. This week the players must be just full of confidence after what we've seen this week.
Oh, you'd hope so. I'll tell you what, like, Brentford's a big game anyway, but you don't have Douglas Luiz or Luca Digne, because they're obviously missing it with the suspension. So that's a big thing, because Douglas Luiz was unbelievable when we played Brentford away last year. He scored the equalising goal when we needed it the most. But I don't think we haven't beaten Brentford away in.
And that was the silliest
long
yellow card, by the way.
It was silly.
Come on, Douglas. That was just childish. That's not what we needed at that point in the game, and this point in the season, because we need you on the pitch. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
I'd rather miss the Brentford game though than I think we have United coming up, all that kind of stuff. So I'd rather miss the Brentford one. I know it's important, but I think we can cover it for one game like we did with Kamara. So I'm not too fussed about it. I think the big loss, I know Moreno's come back for fitness, but I think Luca Digne, I think he's been sensational for us this season. Again, I know it was already his jersey because Moreno's been out injured, but he's performed, and he just looks like he's having such a good time playing for Aston Villa. He's loving it. You see him in the post-game videos, when in the tunnel and on social media, and he's someone that he was probably frozen out the squad. People might be thinking he probably would have been sold, and it just proves how important squad depth is. And you hear all the professionals now saying, "Oh, Villa in a title race." And one thing they say is our squad depth isn't good enough.
Yeah,
that's what January, I reckon. Though I don't think it is good enough either. But
no, I think it is. I think that's a bit false, because if you think about it, we have 2 good players in each position, apart from maybe right back.
I think right back and striker is what we're
striker, Duran's still a bit young, a bit raw to be, if Ollie was out for 3 months or something,
Yeah,
it would be a bit of a concern. But in all the other positions, we have people that can plug in and do the
100%.
job.
And
And
I don't mind flying under the radar with some of these players because, again, I mentioned before, Donka.
Mhm.
He hasn't played in such a long time, and he came in and did such a good job. And he could potentially start against Brentford. To be honest, I wouldn't be against him starting in that CDM spot.
well, yeah, they're a very physical team, and they're going to be pumping a few direct balls up to their strikers. I know Buemo is injured, I think,
Yeah,
for them, so that's a big blow for them because you know Tony's not back till January.
yeah.
So
Well, that's even if he goes back there because a lot of rumors are they going to sell him.
yeah, I mean
So
Arsenal, who we played last night, are one
I'll
of the
tell you
big
what, one thing Arsenal are
rumors.
missing is a genuine striker, aren't they?
Mm,
It's kind of like what Man City was without Haaland. They just need that genuine striker. Jesus isn't quite that. Havertz is definitely not that.
no,
And seeming how they've got a couple of players out and stuff, their coach was in the stands looking as frustrated as ever, which I absolutely loved, by the way. We frustrated two of the best coaches in the Premier League in a week.
and he wasn't
Um,
happy after the match.
yeah, he
He
likes to complain.
Yes, he does like to complain, but he was highlighting the two controversial moments that happened in the second half. There was the Douglas Luiz's sort of kick, tried to clear the ball and caught a little bit of Jesus, but I don't know, it's enough to give a penalty. I don't think it's a penalty.
I don't think it is either, Scott. And the thing is, right, Arsenal fans have short-term memories. Let's go back to when they beat us at Villa Park last year
Mhm.
and the Jorginho goal. They casually had two players offside standing right in front of Martinez, just
They,
casually. And
they
that goal
did.
didn't get, they got that goal and ended up winning the game 4-2.
That's
But
it. And
Louise
the other
had,
one was the handball. And I think again, the rule is
no,
if you handle the ball and score a goal, it can't be a goal under
the,
any
the rule
circumstances.
doesn't say whose hand did it touch first. The
Mm,
rules that if the ball touched Kai Havertz's hand in any part of that review,
yeah,
ball decision stays, and it did. Yes, I agree. It probably touched Cash's arm, but it was really by his side, to be honest. But it did
mm,
it did touch his hand. And what else like that's the rule. I know
yeah.
Arsenal fans are probably going to be salty as ever, and that
It's a bit of a crap rule
it is.
because in it means that even if the striker, let's say, has his arms by his side and there's no there's no sort of advantage of the ball just flicks his arm a little bit, and then it's still no goal. And I think that's not really, you need to use common sense in football
You do,
sometimes.
you
And
do.
like I'd much rather the referee goes over, looks at the screen and goes, no, I'm happy with that. That's a goal or it's not a goal, whatever. But this sort of,
Jared Gillett called it straight away.
yeah,
He was very confident.
the
He didn't.
Aussie, come on,
Yeah, I know the guy from
doing
the
it for
Gold
the Aussie
Coast.
Villa podcast.
I know, what a man. But there were those two decisions that are going to be noticed for him. But I actually thought he did okay during the game.
Yeah,
To be honest, I said neutrals will
let a
probably
bit go.
he let a bit go, but neutrals will be able to talk about those decisions better. Obviously, we have our Villa hats on,
Obviously,
and Arsenal
and
fans have their ones on. On the Optus Sport post game show, I forgot who it was. He's an former Arsenal player, Arsenal fan, and he said, "Yeah, as an Arsenal fan, I think that's a pen, but as a neutral, I don't think it is."
yeah, that was Tony Adams.
Cody Adams, yeah. So
Mm.
like it just proves that I know, like all over social media has been saying, "Oh, how corrupt it was and rigged the game." Well, I don't think it
Yeah,
was, to be honest. Like,
well, that's it. And I think this is like, as a side note, I don't like the way football punditry is going. Like, in that we always get these games, and there's always like an Arsenal fan if Arsenal are playing, or a Man United ex player if it's becoming like a fan channel.
yeah,
I know that
yeah,
we have a fan channel here at Coupe de Villa, but when I'm watching, something like Optus Sport as we have here in Australia, or the BBC Match of the Day or whatever, I don't want to see people celebrating. Ian Wright, I guess, is
nah.
the classic one. They always cut to him, you know, celebrating, during when the goal goes in, and they'll play it after the match. And I've got no problem with Ian Wright; he's a good pundit, but he shouldn't be doing Arsenal games. That's my
No, I
feeling.
do agree with that because we have that down in the Aussie rules here as well. When you get
Mm,
former players commentating on their past team, it's just it just kind of ruins it because they're just barracking for their side, aren't they? Like they want them to do like to win, and as you said, I think it kind of takes away from it. It just kind of gives
Yeah.
them a bit more content maybe to put on social media. But do you know
That's
who I thought?
exactly. That's exactly. It's like these Mark Goldbridges and these like,
Yeah,
these fan reactions.
yeah,
That they're going in that direction, and
they are.
it's not good because you don't get like just a balanced view of the game.
No,
You get this sort of, oh, we did this and we should do that. If you're a football pundit, you shouldn't be using we.
no, exactly. But do you know who actually did well? We had Andy Townsend on commentary,
Mm-hmm.
Former Villa captain.
Yep, yep.
And you would not be able to tell he played for Villa or captain Villa with the way he called the game.
No, and
Not at all.
that's why he's doing the co-commentary, and he's not sitting on the couch in the studio because
He's so good at it.
he's got that know-how, and he realizes that it's not his place to be cheerleading.
No.
He needs to just call the games as he sees it. And I know he's got a bit of Villa bias, but I've heard him go really hard on Villa in the
So have
past.
I. So have I.
And in the Gerrard days when we were absolutely pathetic at times, he called us out, and as you do, and then yeah, but let's get back to the game because yeah, we talked about Gabriel Jesus for Arsenal and the fact that Arsenal might need a number 9 in January. And I think this game sort of summed that up with Diego Carlos and Pau Torres, as we've already spoke of, was so good on him. Didn't give him anything really, shut down the spaces. We made the middle of the pitch really condensed. So they were trying to play that ball over the top to the wingers, Martinelli, and they got a bit of joy from that. But we sort of took their main goal threat away in the that middle of the box, that middle areas of the ground. We won that duel, and they were frustrated all afternoon.
Yeah, Bukayo Saka was clearly showing his frustration as well because I love Bukayo Saka. He's a great player, and again, one of those days that wasn't quite his day. I think that Luca Digne and Moreno defended him extremely well.
Yeah,
He's someone you got to give a little bit of space to and wait for that heavy touch because he always does that heavy touch to try and get that whip in, like he always does. And Unai Emery would have been researching this. He would know half those players. So I believe he gave Saka his first Arsenal cap. He signed Martinelli. Like he knows these players incredibly well, and he would want that win more than anyone because he actually never obviously he's only managed them twice against them twice. I think I'm not sure if he did in Europe before. But I don't think he's ever. He'd never beaten Arsenal before until last night.
He'd never beaten Guardiola before, and he's beaten him now.
Yeah,
never beaten Arsenal. He's beaten him now. So, things are looking good. We're breaking records. There's 15 wins in a row at Villa Park in the Premier League. We've got Sheffield United next at home, so we've got a very good chance of making it 16.
The next tough fixture at home is Newcastle. At home, I think we have Sheffield United. Then we have another game at home, and then we play Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean they're all tough. Like I'm not going to sort of just say we're going to rock up. And...
Well, they're coming off a win, Sheffield United.
Exactly, so, new manager and all that. So it's and we've struggled against Sheffield United in the past under different versions of that team and different versions of our Villa team as well. But let's look forward because we've got the big game on Thursday night. I'm pretty sure if we get a point, that'll be enough.
We're top of the group, yeah.
To top the group. There's even some scenarios where we can lose if there's not that much of a swing in goals. We'll be all right. So, but I'm sure we'll send a pretty strong team, and I expect Luca Digne and Douglas Luiz to play because they're not playing against Brentford on Sunday. So, what are your thoughts about that game, and who would you like to see? Anyone? I'd like to see Kellyman. These
Kellyman's
guys.
actually out for the year.
Is he?
Oh, yeah, he's out for the year. So he posted something on social media. That's how I know about that. But
okay.
Who would I want to see? It's a weird one, but I'd love to see Marshall given a chance. Does that sound a bit weird? I think he's been on the bench now.
Well, Olsen wasn't on the bench again, was he?
I don't know what's going on there, but I would love to see someone like Marshall given a shot at goal.
Sure.
See what he like if he's up to it. To be honest, obviously Duran I think will start again.
Longley,
Bonham. I'd love to see him
Yeah.
giving a crack as well.
Yep.
Just it's not like the Martin O'Neill play the youth, but give some of them a crack. Like have a
Yeah.
mainly strong team, but have some of these younger guys around them and help them develop.
That's it. And
Yeah,
you
I
can
don't know.
still have like Ollie on the bench or whatever, and
Yeah,
bring them on, after an hour if we need them. But I think if we play, you know, sort of the guys who aren't getting a game like Longley, Duran, Douglas Luiz, Digne because they're suspended, and then fill it in with kids. I think
I
we
think
can
it's
get.
okay.
I think we can get a result over there in Bosnia, and I think we can top the group. And then, yeah. So should we do predictions for that game and the Brentford game?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll let you go first this time because, by the way, I got the Arsenal prediction bang on, Scott. So
Ooh.
no pressure.
All right. I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1 in Bosnia. And I'm going to say for Brentford, we will win 1-0 again for the third game in a row.
Fair enough. Oh, that honestly, you'd take that one. The 3 clean sheets you'd take.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to match your Monster score prediction. So
Yep.
that's the one I was going to go. I was going to go for 2-1. Brentford, I'm umming and ahhing.
It's a bit of a banana skin.
It's a tough place. We haven't
Yep.
done well, even at Griffin Park. They've
No.
got our arch nemesis Neil Mopay back, who loved scoring against us when he was
That's
there.
it. Dean Smith did us over
Yeah,
there back in the
so
day before he was even our coach.
but I'm again it's gonna be like I'm copying him. I'm gonna go 1-0 as well. I don't know. I just think we just need to do what it takes and then defend again like we did.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
And
exciting. It's gonna be
it will
exciting.
be because it'll be a different sort of test. There'll be a lot of, set pieces, corners, and balls knocked up, over the top, and, we will probably have a fair bit of the ball, more than we did against Arsenal. But, we've got, a big challenge ahead of us. And, the game on Thursday night is going to be really interesting too, because it's going to be a difficult place to go to. It's going to be a hostile environment. They're going to be very loud. This is going to be probably the biggest game of their season. It's going to be a big test. So, the
It's gonna be a
game.
massive test. It's gonna be an absolutely massive test because again they beat us in our first Conference League group stage match. They beat us.
Yes, they
Was
did.
it 3-2? They beat
No,
us.
that was Legia Warsaw.
Oh, was it? Or we beat them 1-0, didn't we?
Yeah, we beat them 1-0 with the
At
late
Villa
McGinn
Park. Yeah,
goal. Yeah.
McGinn. So they're capable of defending. Like
Mhm.
they sat back for so well in that game because all they needed was a point. All they wanted was a point. So they're proving that they're up to it, and they wouldn't be in this Conference League if they weren't up to it.
Mhm.
I know Max is heading out there to cover the games. That's going to be
Yeah.
sensational to see that. I'm
That's
very
awesome.
excited.
I'm just so enjoying just all the Villa community at the moment.
How good is it?
On social media, all the podcasts like Villa on Tour, and just just your average sort of like football podcast where people that just talk about the same 10 teams in Europe constantly over and over, and now having to talk about Villa because
We're up
we're in
there.
we're mixing it with the big boys, and we're sort of taking the place that we should have had before, really. Like when the Premier League started, we were one of the top 6 or whatever you want to call it. We were up there, challenging, and we're there again. And hopefully we can just continue this growth under Emery. And I still am not expecting a title charge or anything like that.
No, that's the thing.
And
People are losing their heads at the moment, Scott.
they are losing their heads. And the huge thing for me, not only was, we won the game, we got 3 points more ahead of City, we got 3 points closer to Arsenal. It's that we've got an 8-point gap on 5th now.
That's what I was looking at. If we get top 4, you absolutely rip your arm off for it now. Like you take it. I want it.
That's it. We're not competing with Arsenal, Liverpool, and City in my mind. We're competing with Tottenham, Newcastle, United, and the fact that they're all dropping points. I mean, it's Newcastle, Tottenham tonight. So
massive game.
If that was a draw or something, and they both dropped a couple of points, that'd be fantastic. Yes, and come on Luton against City. But, again, I'm not too worried about City. I kind of expect them to overtake
Everyone
us
does.
at some point.
If City won the like next 20 games, I would not be surprised. It's Man
Yeah,
City. It's Man City, Scott. Like,
and we're ahead of schedule, like Noah.
no,
From the
we are.
Championship to Champions League in 5 years, I mean,
That's a joke.
this is what we're looking at. We're 8 points clear of fifth. And that should be the focus. And everyone's saying, "Oh, but if we'd beaten Forest, we would be top of the league." Well, okay, but if we hadn't got Emery and we hadn't have got all these players and improved individually and as a team, we might have been relegated. We might have been still with Steven Gerrard just absolutely stinking the place up.
Do I want Villa to win the league, Scott, more than anything?
Of course.
Like, it's something that I never expect I will ever see. You just don't know, though. But is it a good opportunity? Of course. But keep your heads, everyone, keep the lids on, and keep flying under the radar. That's what I kind of love about it. Like, I know we're starting to get recognised now, but just keep being us at the moment. Like, if we get top of the Premier League at any stage, I'd be absolutely buzzing. But I sent a message to my mates this morning. I was like, 5 more points and we avoid relegation, because that gets us to 40 points. Like, it's just a bit of humour in that, because just just don't get carried away.
That's it. Enjoy the ride, everyone. We're loving it. You're loving it. Please let us know in the comments how you're feeling about this week. It's going to be a week that we remember forever, and I think we should all enjoy that. And just, where were you? Against City, against Arsenal, where were you watching? Were you at Villa Park? And how are you feeling? I mean, the two different performances, the sort of flexibility of this team. Who is standing out for you? Who's your favorite player? Who are you just loving at the moment? And let us know in the comments. And before we go, I just wanted to just touch on the tragic death of Professor Benjamin Zephaniah, the Villa fan, poet, musician, actor on Peaky Blinders. We've all seen his videos about Villa and what it means to him. He's really well-spoken and a really cool guy. And it was just a really tragic that he died so young. And another Holt ender in the sky, unfortunately. So rest in peace to him, and all the thoughts with his family and friends in this tough moment. But, he would be proud of what he saw last night. And, we're really creating something beautiful here. Tommy's in Bali. He should be back for the next pod. But there's also some news there with Tommy, isn't there, Noah?
There is just a little bit. Him and his partner got engaged in Bali. So he didn't tell anyone, by the way. We actually had no idea about this at all. And sprung it on us on his first day in Bali. So he's quite the romantic guy, Tommy. Picks a holiday to Bali. I wonder why I didn't get invited to it, but there you go.
Certainly wasn't a boys' trip. Him and his partner Steph are now engaged, and congratulations to both of them. And please leave your congratulations to Tommy in the comments as well. That's it. Going to be it for this week. We've beaten the European champions. We've beaten the league leaders. We're 2 points off top. We're absolutely flying, ladies and gentlemen. Up the Villa, and we will see you after Brentford. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.